They say nothing worth having comes easy. Well, I say nothing worth having comes free. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we are getting into the raw, unfiltered truth. Why your relationships always fail. You have to listen closely because I am going to break down 5 masculinity-killing mistakes every man makes, but no one dares to talk about. These are fatal flaws that leave you frustrated, confused, and heartbroken. And guess what? None of these have anything to do with the woman. I'm not here to play the blame game. I'm here to tell you the brutal reality. So if you want to know the truth, listen up. Mistake number 1, you chase what you want. Now, before I break this down, I want you to really think about this question. Have you ever been so attracted to someone that when they looked at you, it felt like all your insecurities and fears vanished? There was just this magnetic pull between you both. Yeah, me too. But then something interesting happened. They didn't reciprocate those feelings right away. In fact, they kind of pushed you away a bit. Now some guys would call this playing hard to get, but let's be real, it's not that. It is a natural response when someone realizes they might actually care about you, and that scares them because it means opening up, letting someone in, and that is terrifying. I remember this girl I liked in college. She had a way about her that made me feel like I could conquer the world. I found myself thinking about her constantly. But the moment she started giving me attention, I panicked. I pulled away. I became distant. And before I knew it, she lost interest. Why? Because chasing what you want isn't attractive. It reveals a desperate, needy side of you that kills your masculine power. When you chase something, you lose your edge. It's like trying to catch the wind. The harder you try, the more it slips through your fingers. Chasing is driven by fear. Fear of losing, fear of being alone. This stems from an insecure attachment style, and it's something I've personally struggled with. That's why the first step to overcoming it is awareness. Recognize your fear, understand its roots, and choose to step back. Don't chase. Let things come to you. Trust me, the chase is never worth it. Mistake number 2, you look for validation. Think back to a time when you did something nice for someone, and when they didn't appreciate it, you felt upset, maybe even angry. We've all been there. Looking for validation externally is a sign of low self-worth. You're essentially saying that you need someone else to boost your own self-esteem. And guess what? That's not sustainable. That's not healthy. You can't rely on someone else for your own happiness. Here's the harsh truth. Women can sense when you're looking for validation, and it turns them off. They don't want to be your therapist. They want a partner, someone who is secure in themselves. So where does this need for external validation come from? Insecurity. It's a byproduct of an ego that hasn't healed. Remember, true masculinity isn't about being perfect. It's about being whole. And here's how you start becoming whole. Accept yourself for who you are, both the good and the bad. Embrace your imperfections because that's what makes you human. Don't chase validation. Build genuine connections based on who you truly are. You'll be amazed at the kind of people, including women, who are drawn to your authenticity. Mistake number 3, you put them on a pedestal. How many times have you put someone on a pedestal only to realize that they were just an ordinary person after all? How many times have you idealized someone, made them seem larger than life, only to be disappointed when they didn't live up to your expectations? We've all been there. Putting someone on a pedestal is a form of escapism. It's like creating a fantasy world where this person is perfect, where they're everything you want them to be. But guess what? That fantasy doesn't exist. That person isn't perfect. And once you realize that, you're left disillusioned, maybe even hurt. Remember, no one is perfect. Everyone has flaws. Everyone struggles. Putting someone on a pedestal is not only unrealistic, it's also a major turn-off for women. It shows a lack of maturity, a failure to see them as an equal. And where does this tendency come from? A lack of self-love. When you don't value yourself, you seek validation from others. You look for them to complete you, to make you happy. But guess what? Only you can do that. It starts with loving yourself, accepting yourself, flaws and all. Once you do that, you can see others in a more realistic light and treat them as equals. Then you won't be putting anyone on a pedestal. Mistake number 4, you're too available. How many times have you been available at the drop of a hat for someone, only to be taken for granted? How many times have you gone out of your way to accommodate someone, only to realize that they didn't care about your time or your effort? We've all been there. Being too available is like pouring water into a bottomless pit. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. And this is especially true when it comes to women. When you're always available, you send the message that you have nothing better to do, that you're desperate for their attention. And let's be real, that's not attractive. It's like having a car that's always parked outside, never in a garage, always available for anyone to use. Not exactly high value. So where does this drive to be too available come from? Often it stems from a fear of rejection or abandonment. You don't want to be alone, so you make yourself as available as possible. But guess what? That doesn't solve the problem. In fact, it makes it worse. It creates a push-pull dynamic where they only pay attention when they want to. Here's the solution. Set boundaries. Make yourself less available. Focus on your own goals, hobbies, friends. When you have a life of your own, when you're not always at their beck and call, that's when you become more attractive. That's when you start valuing your time and energy. And guess what? They'll notice. They'll start to respect you more. Mistake number 5, you're not brutally honest. How many times have you lied to yourself or others, justifying it with a white lie, or saying it's for the greater good? How many times have you avoided a difficult conversation, swept things under the rug, hoping they'd just go away? We've all been there. Not being brutally honest is a form of escapism. It's like building a house of cards. Sure, it might stand for a while, but one strong wind comes along and it all falls apart. And guess what? Women can sense those lies. They can see through the facade. Brutal honesty is uncomfortable. It's like swallowing a bitter pill, but it's necessary. It's the only way to build trust, to create real connections. Remember, true masculinity isn't about being dishonest. It's about being vulnerable enough to be authentic. It's about embracing the discomfort of honesty, because that's where growth happens. That's where real change begins. So why do most men struggle with this? Mostly because of fear. Fear of confrontation. Fear of hurting someone's feelings. Fear of losing someone. But guess what? Those fears are just that. They're not real. They're just stories you tell yourself. You've made it to this point, which means this hits hard. Don't just watch and forget. Subscribe to Inner Empire. This channel will challenge you, and that's exactly what you need. In conclusion, brothers, I've laid out 5 truths that destroy your relationships. It's time to take a hard look in the mirror and ask yourself, which of these am I guilty of? Which areas need my attention? Remember, healing begins with you. As the head of your household, the provider, the protector, you set the tone. So heal yourself. Become the best version of yourself. Lead your household in a way that inspires and uplifts. Show your wife the kind of love and respect that she deserves. Nurture your children with the guidance they need. And above all, be financially responsible. Provide for your family, not just because it's your duty, but because it's an expression of your love. Lastly, have a vision. Without it, you're like a ship without a rudder, tossed around by the waves of life. Develop a clear vision of where you want to be in 5 or 10 years. Let that vision guide your actions and decisions. And brothers, I'm here to tell you that you can overcome these challenges. It's tough, yes, but that's where the reward lies. When you do overcome, you'll have gained immeasurable strength, wisdom, and character. The pain you endure today will be the fuel that propels you forward tomorrow. So don't complain, don't whine, don't make excuses. Take responsibility, face your challenges head on, and grow from them. Be relentless in your pursuit of self-improvement. And remember, brothers, you're not alone in this journey. Reach out to your brothers, your friends, your community. Lean on them for support, share your experiences, and learn from theirs. Together, you can conquer anything. If you're ready to stop losing and start leading, subscribe to Inner Empire now. It's time to reclaim your power. Thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to show your support. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.